So, happy Thursday. This is going to be the video version of what I talked about on the radio show on revolution.radio. It's not going to be as long. Last couple of weeks, I've had a couple hours invested into talking about psyops, propaganda, manipulations, contrived circumstances, which I made up my own name for, contrivialities, okay? Fake talk. So these are all things that are done as a part of manipulating somebody. It's happening on a world basis. The whole world is being gaslit right now. I talked about gaslighting, exactly what it is, to get somebody to doubt their own reality. Okay? Hopefully that was heard. Maybe I'll be heard a little bit better now. So, once upon a time, I worked for an order following department that had a Game of Thrones going on. One of the golden boys on that department, who ended up several years later, becoming the chief, was one of those golden boys. And they tried to contrive a fight between me and him, and they went to great lengths to do it, including getting others to fight with him. So that way when he picked his psyop fight with me, I would respond in such a way that would give them an excuse to do what it is they wanted to do. And I've had a lot of ops run against me. Over 95% of the time, I'm right. Whenever I sense something contrived, I will 100% of the time, be it for my own good or not for my own good, not respond the way people want. They may respond briefly the way they want on purpose to see where they're going with something. This is why I don't get involved in other people's fights when it's petty. The enemy at the gate is together. The enemy at the gate is well organized. The enemy at the gate aren't having any phallic measuring contests with their spirituality or with their knowledge or with anything else. So I will not respond to any contrived circumstances on a personal level or on a big level. It's just not going to happen. And it's something to just pay attention to that's going on in the world, that's going on around us. It's constantly happening. Some people look at every transaction as a power struggle. I knew a Satanist once who thought every relationship was nothing but a power struggle. What type of maniacal, egotistical fucking way is that to look at anything? How is that any way to live? Yeah, I can tell stories about that. Maybe I will someday. But what I'm getting at is the nuts and bolts of a psyop, no matter where it originates from, the nuts and bolts of how it's done is always the same. So all I can tell people is it doesn't have to be the CIA or FBI or anybody else. It could be a low-level, seedy private investigator trying to catch you cheating on your wife or exercising or something. How these operations work are the same. How large-scale psyops work is the same as how a one-on-one or a small-scale psyop will work. The same thing with gaslighting people, propaganda. And I still see it in certain subcultures where I think it's ridiculous. It's laughable. But it's sad at the same time because there's a large enemy at the gate. A big one. I think that's all I got to say for now. Anyways, watch the show, revolution.radio. I'll have that up later on with everything I talked about. Yeah, I'm going to try to get over this cold. Take some vitamin C. And work out through it still. All right, man. Until I see you guys again, maybe I'll come on here and do a real rant. I don't feel like I used enough profanity today. So I wanted to jump up here on this show and at least one time say fuck. Now that I got that out of my system, I can go back to being my normal self and go about my day. All right, everyone, stay safe. Talk to you later.